In the previous movie, we learned to use include and require. In this movie, we'll learn some additional techniques that can help you to use them better in your projects. So the first thing that I want to show you is how we can use variables in PHP to work with these included and required files. Specifically, I want to be able to set a page title on this page, $page title, and I'm going to set it equal to, let's just call it staff menu. I'll make it capital, menu. Okay, so I'm setting this variable page title. What I want to show you is that that variable is available inside this file. It's exactly as if that PHP code were right in this spot, right at line 4. All of the content of staff header were right there. That means we have access to any variables that have been set. I just want to make sure that's clear to you. So here we go. Let's put in a dash and let's do echo $page title. Now, of course, we want to make sure that page title is set. So let's go up here to the very top. Let's put in a bit of PHP, which says if it's not set, page title, then page title will be equal to, and let's have it just say staff area. That'll make sure we have a default page title set. We won't have a problem when we get down here because either we'll have one that's been passed in or we have a default that'll kick in. So let's try it out. Let's see if that works. Let's save this. Let's go back to index.php, make sure we save that page as well. Let's go to our browser and let's reload our page. Notice now it says GBI staff menu. So that's the first thing I want to make sure I showed you is that variables are still available inside those included files. That can be useful to know. The second thing is, let's take all of this code from index.php and I'm going to copy it. And let's go to subjects index.php, where I also just have a basic HTML5 template. I'm going to just replace that. I'm going to remove everything that's there and paste in my new code instead. It's not the staff menu now. Instead, now we're looking at the list of subjects. So that's the page title is subjects. So it should be able to now use a different page title with the staff header. So let's save this file and let's go try it out. Let's go back to Firefox. And this time it's going to be staff subjects. And you could put the index.php after it if you wanted. Notice that I get a warning followed by a fatal error. Require once was not able to find the file that it was looking for. So the problem here is that now my index.php page is nested inside this subjects directory. So the path to initialize.php is not the same. Now I have to go backwards one more directory. And the same thing for finding the staff header, .. and the footer, .. Have to go one level further back. Let's save it. Let's go back. Let's reload our page. And now you see that the page opens up. So now the page loads as expected and we don't get errors anymore. Now you'll notice that our style sheet is broken. We're not getting the big blue header and footer that we would expect to get from our style sheet. We'll come back to that issue in a moment. For now, I instead want to just deal with the issue of these dots. This can be a little bit of a hassle to remember where you're nested, to remember whether you're nested one level deep or 2 levels deep. One good solution to work from that is to set up some constants that you can use to define the path to these files. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to initialize.php, and before we even get to our functions, I'm going to paste in some code here. Let's just indent that a bit. And what I'm doing is I'm defining several constants. I'm defining a constant called private path, and that's using the current file, __file, __, all in caps, returns the current path to this file, that file being initialize.php, tells PHP, hey, find this file's location and get its directory. So what's the directory? Well, it's the private directory. So that's what we're calling private path. That's the same thing as the private folder here. So what is our project path? Well, that's one directory above that. So I ask for the directory name, and that says go backwards one, and that tells us Globe Bank. So now I have my private path, my project path. My public path is going to be the project path plus public, and the shared path, where my footer and header live, is going to be the private path plus the shared directory. Now I have these constants defined in PHP that I can use to easily locate those files. So let me show you how we could use those. Let's save this file. Let's come back over to index.php. This is the main index page. Now, instead of having all of these, let's remove all of this and let's add in shared path in all caps and concatenate that together with staffheader.php. See how that works? I'll just copy this, do the same thing here. We'll just remove everything except for that /. See how much nicer that is? It says find that shared path folder. That's where you're going to find this file. So this is a handy tool for being able to locate directories. Now again, this is file paths that we're working with. Now you might think, well, what about this one? Can I use private path here? No, you can't. And the reason why is because initialize.php is where all of this is defined. So there's one place that we still have to use the dots to get everything located correctly. And that's here when we first require the initialize. After that, we have our constant setup that we can work with. So let's save this file. And now let's come back over here. Let me just copy these. And let's go into our subjects. Now my subjects, I can just take those same lines and paste them in there. See how nice that is? So now my shared path is always the same. I still have to have an extra dot here that I didn't have there because I do have to load up that initialize.php as the very first thing. Let's try it one last time, make sure it's all working. Let's come here, we'll reload it, and you'll see it still works exactly the same. And if we take subjects out and go back to this other page, it works correctly here. Now the style sheets still are broken. And in the next chapter, we're going to talk about how we can do the same kind of idea when working with links and URLs so that we can address our style sheet problem.